All right, so are you ready for this? We're going deep on Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to this one.
Not just like the usual headlines, though, the stuff you see every day.
Right.
We're
No,
going deeper.
the real Elon Musk.
Yeah, you sent over these excerpts from Walter Isaacson's new biography,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it is seriously packed
it's amazing.
with eye-opening stuff about the guy,
Yeah.
behind these massive companies.
It is really intriguing. We always tend to view him through the lens of Tesla, SpaceX, Twitter.
Yeah,
But this is really cool because it helps us explore the person behind it all,
yeah.
the driving forces,
Yeah.
and how he got to where he is.
Exactly. And right off the bat, Isaacson paints this picture of his childhood. And it's not at all what you'd expect for someone who would go on to do what he's done.
No.
South Africa in the 80s,
Yeah.
like Isaacson describes it as rough, even violent.
Well, and this brings up a really interesting question. Like, how much does that early environment truly shape us?
Totally.
For Musk.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the societal violence. It was family trauma, too.
Oh, yeah, there's a story about a German Shepherd attack
Oh, wow.
when he was just 6.
6 years old.
6 years old.
Wow.
He's bitten really badly, and he's in the ER.
Oh, my God.
And he's begging the doctors not to hurt the dog.
Oh, no.
They promise they won't,
Oh,
but
great.
then they shoot it.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Try to imagine that as a 6-year-old.
I was thinking as an adult. That's hard enough.
I know, but as a 6-year-old.
The betrayal.
Right.
The sudden loss.
The inexplicable loss, yeah.
Hard not to see this reflected in his later kind of siege mentality.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
How he approaches challenges and even relationships.
Totally, yeah. It makes a lot of sense.
It's unsettling, for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's his father, Errol.
Right.
Isaacson doesn't sugarcoat it at all.
Uh-oh.
Calls him an engineer, a rogue, and a charismatic fantasist. Okay. Who seems to still affect Elon deeply, even today.
Yeah, wow.
The book really lays out examples of Errol's verbal abuse.
Really?
Putting down Elon's intelligence and worth, just
Wow.
really tough stuff.
What a terrible thing.
There's even this incident where young Elon is beaten up in a school fight,
Oh, jeez.
and his father sides with the bully.
Oh, no, instead of comforting him.
Instead of comforting his son, Errol actually berated him for the fight later.
Wow.
Imagine the effect on a child's sense of security and trust.
Geez, I mean, this pattern of behavior really makes you wonder how much it shaped Elon's own approach to fatherhood.
For sure.
Especially now, with all the complexities in his own family.
Yeah.
It's a valid question, I think.
Totally. And to add to that, Errol had this tendency to fabricate reality,
Oh, like,
believing his own inventions and stories. And
oh, wow.
that's got to mess with your head.
Yeah.
Growing up unsure of what's real,
Yeah.
it makes sense that that would impact how you see the world and interact with it. Totally. Yeah.
So knowing all of this,
Yeah.
how does Elon Musk become Elon Musk?
Right.
This guy launching rockets,
Yeah.
making electric cars mainstream, and then impulsively buying Twitter.
What's that all about?
Well, Isaacson dives into his personality and motivations.
Okay.
He points out Musk's attraction to risk,
Interesting.
how he seems to thrive in crisis mode.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
There's this incredible drive, like a maniacal sense of urgency,
Uh-oh.
as the book calls it, but it comes at a cost. It sounds exhausting, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Like even inspiring, but definitely exhausting
Oh, for sure.
to live like that, to
Yeah.
work like that.
Well, going to lead to those amazing breakthroughs, but
Yeah.
but it also creates this volatile, often unsustainable work environment.
Yeah.
Isaacson quotes Tom Moeller, an early SpaceX engineer,
Okay.
and he says Musk's deadlines, sometimes they achieve the impossible,
Right.
but they can also be really demoralizing for the teams.
That's that classic double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant, but potentially damaging.
Precisely.
And this intensity even bleeds into his personal life.
Oh, yeah.
The book details his 2 divorces, first from Justine Musk, then Tallulah Riley.
Right.
And his relationship with Grimes has been very public as well,
Yeah.
along with the birth of their son, X.
Cool, X. Yeah.
You get a sense that his personal life is just as unconventional as his business ventures.
You know what stands out to me in the book?
What's that?
Is Justine talking about Musk's struggle with empathy.
Really?
She literally had to explain the concept to him.
Wow.
And his analytical mind,
Yeah.
it really had a hard time grasping something so emotional.
Which is interesting because alongside that, there's this huge love for science fiction.
Yeah.
Specifically books like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Basically.
Foundation.
Oh, yeah.
Those explore huge questions about humanity, the universe, our place in it all.
Right.
It's like he's seeking answers to those through his companies, almost like testing them out.
Yeah, and these ventures often seem driven by challenging the norm,
Yeah.
pushing what's deemed possible. Look at his whole approach to building rockets, for example.
Okay, so SpaceX.
Yeah.
He wanted to create a reusable rocket system, which even NASA hadn't cracked for decades.
I know.
How do you even start with that?
Well, Isaacson describes Musk's
Yeah.
burn the boats strategy
Boats.
with SpaceX.
Okay.
That mentality of total commitment, no backup plan.
Wow.
He was all in on reusable rockets.
But how do you go from that mindset to actually making it happen?
Right. It required a complete overhaul of how the aerospace industry typically worked.
Yeah.
He brought in engineers from outside the field.
Really?
Yeah, he utilized existing commercial parts wherever possible
Oh, interesting.
and pushed relentlessly with those tight deadlines we talked about.
So burn the boats is like the overall vision.
Right.
But what about the day-to-day decision-making?
Right. Well, that's where his
Yeah.
first principles thinking comes in.
First principles thinking.
Breaking down complex problems into their simplest, most fundamental truths
Okay.
and building up from there.
So he's not just accepting the way things have always been done. He's questioning everything, going back to the basics.
Exactly. And it's risky.
Yeah.
There were tons of setbacks, explosions, moments where it could all fall apart.
Oh, wow.
But ultimately, he achieved something remarkable: reusable rockets that significantly cut down the cost of space travel.
It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
He's like this blend of genius engineer, visionary leader, and a risk taker who sometimes seems to push things too far.
Yeah. And that combination has led to monumental wins, but also some very public, very messy stumbles.
Yeah.
And it's that constant tension
Yeah.
that makes them so compelling.
One thing the book makes clear is just how hands-on Musk is.
Oh, yeah.
He's not just some CEO in a fancy office. He's on the factory floor, in the design studios, even in the code with his engineers.
That level of involvement is a hallmark of his leadership style.
Yeah.
He's deeply into the technical details, which can be both inspiring and incredibly demanding for those working with him.
Isaacson gives an example where Musk's redesigning the Tesla Model S factory.
Oh, yeah.
And he insists on engineers' cubicles being right next to the assembly line.
That's why. I don't know why.
He wanted them to instantly see the results of their design choices.
Uh-huh.
If a part's hard to assemble, if a process slows down production, he wanted them to feel it, see it,
Wow.
and fix it right then.
So no hiding in the ivory tower for those engineers.
Yeah.
They're right there in the trenches.
Exactly. And that obsession with efficiency was everywhere.
Yeah.
Isaacson even mentions Musk questioning the placement of warning labels in Tesla cars,
Really?
arguing that they were clutter and pointless.
It seems a bit extreme.
I know, but it shows this commitment to streamlining everything.
Right.
To eliminating any perceived waste. It makes you wonder how this plays out in his relationships and his personal life as well.
It's a valid question. He has an almost visceral aversion to anything he sees as wasteful or inefficient.
Yeah.
And it fuels his constant push for optimization in all his ventures.
But it also leads to conflict, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The book describes clashes with engineers, executives, even government regulators who don't move at his pace or agree with his methods.
Absolutely. And those clashes often become very public.
Oh, yeah?
Musk isn't shy about picking fights on Twitter or even in courtrooms.
Yeah, he seems to thrive on confrontation almost as much as he does on crisis.
It's true.
Speaking of Twitter, that's a whole other chapter in the Elon Musk saga.
It really is.
I mean, we've all seen the headlines.
Oh, yeah.
The impulsive bid to buy the company, the back and forth over the deal.
Right.
The mass layoffs, the policy changes, the sheer chaos of it all.
I know the book gives us a look behind the curtain during those early days of Musk's Twitter reign.
Yeah.
And it's captivating.
Yeah.
If at times a little unnerving.
Oh, I bet.
To see how it all unfolded.
Yeah, we see his relentless drive and focus on efficiency play out in real time.
Right.
And also his willingness to completely shake things up to achieve his vision.
There's this one story where Musk's demanding to know why it's taking so long to move servers from a data center in Sacramento.
Oh, gosh.
He ends up flying there with his cousins
What?
and personally overseeing this late-night operation to move the servers.
Are you kidding me?
It perfectly illustrates his move fast and break things philosophy
Yeah.
and highlights the clash of cultures that's been happening at Twitter.
So he's bringing in engineers from Tesla and SpaceX,
Yeah.
known for their intense work ethic,
Right.
and imposing that same hardcore environment on Twitter.
Yeah, long hours, rapid results, no time for excuses.
That's led to burnout, resignations, pushback from employees who are used to a different pace and style of working.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's been a bumpy transition, to say the least.
Oh, yeah.
But Musk seems unfazed by the criticism he's still pushing forward with his idea of creating an everything app,
Right.
a platform that goes way beyond social media payments messaging,
Oh, wow.
maybe even government services.
It's a bold vision,
Yeah,
and it's still very early in its development.
right.
The book leaves us wondering if he can actually realize this vision
Yeah.
and what the implications might be for the internet as a whole.
So we have this unconventional personal life,
Yeah.
these bold, almost outlandish business ventures,
Right.
and now this intense focus on reshaping the internet itself.
Right.
What else could there be?
Well, remember his childhood fascination with those big philosophical science fiction books.
Oh, yeah.
It seems those questions about humanity's future stayed with him.
Yeah.
And that's where things get really interesting as we move into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
So welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Elon Musk.
All right, let's do it.
As we kind of delve further here,
Yeah.
we're going to see how his childhood fascination with humanity's future has really shaped his ambitions
Okay.
and pushed him to tackle some of the world's most daunting challenges.
It's incredible when you think about it.
Yeah.
Sustainable energy brain-computer interfaces, a colony on Mars.
I know.
Like, the scope of his ambition is just mind-blowing.
And what's particularly intriguing is how these ambitions often intersect and feed into one another.
Okay.
Take Tesla Energy, for instance.
Okay.
It began as a smaller initiative within Tesla, but has evolved into a major player in the renewable energy market.
Yeah, it's more than just electric cars now, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's about building the entire ecosystem to support them.
Exactly.
Solar panels, massive battery storage systems,
Yeah.
even those power walls you see on homes and businesses.
It all points back to Musk's vision of a future powered by clean energy.
Okay.
He sees Tesla Energy as vital in the shift away from fossil fuels.
Right.
And he's definitely not afraid to disrupt the traditional energy industry in the process.
And then there's Neuralink.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this one sounds straight out of science fiction.
I know.
Brain implants that can connect us directly to computers.
Yeah.
Is this actually happening?
It is, and it's arguably one of his most audacious endeavors.
Wow.
The goal is to create a seamless link between our brains and machines,
Oh?
allowing us to control computers, prosthetics, even potentially communicate telepathically.
Whoa, telepathically.
Yeah,
That's next level.
I know.
But seriously, why?
Right.
What's the driving force behind something so radical?
Well, Musk often talks about achieving a symbiosis between humans and AI,
Symbiosis.
essentially a way for us to keep pace with the rapid advancements in artificial intelligence,
Okay.
which he views as a potential threat.
So instead of being overtaken by AI, we merge with it.
In a sense, yeah.
That's a pretty intense concept.
It is. He believes Neuralink could enhance our cognitive abilities,
Okay.
prevent AI from becoming a danger, and ultimately lead to this merger of humans and machines.
It's a lot to process, and obviously it brings up a ton of ethical questions.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, what does this mean for privacy,
Right.
for individual autonomy, even for what it means to be human?
These are questions that Musk himself acknowledges and grapples with,
Oh.
while he recognizes the potential risks associated with this technology.
Yeah.
He believes the potential benefits are too significant to ignore.
It's a high-stakes gamble, for sure.
Always.
And speaking of gambles, we can't forget about Twitter.
Oh, no.
We left off talking about his rather turbulent takeover,
Right.
and things haven't exactly calmed down since then.
Twitter has certainly become a focal point for controversy under Musk's leadership.
Yeah.
Mass layoffs, major policy changes,
Yeah.
and of course his own often unpredictable tweets.
Like in a whirlwind.
It has.
Yeah.
The book gives us a look behind the curtain during those early days of Musk's Twitter reign.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's captivating,
I bet.
if at times a little unnerving to see how it all unfolded.
We see his relentless drive and focus on efficiency play out in real time.
And also his willingness to completely shake things up to achieve his vision.
And there's this one story
Okay.
where Musk is demanding to know why it's taking so long to move servers from a data center in Sacramento.
Oh.
He ends up flying there with his cousins
No way!
and personally overseeing this late-night operation to move the servers.
That's wild.
It perfectly illustrates his move fast and break things philosophy
Oh, yeah.
and highlights the clash of cultures that's been happening at Twitter.
So he's bringing in engineers from Tesla and SpaceX,
Yeah.
known for their intense work ethic,
Right.
and imposing that same hardcore environment on Twitter.
Exactly. Long hours, rapid results, no time for excuses.
Right, and that's led to burnout resignations,
Yeah.
pushback from employees who are used to a different pace and style of working.
Totally. It's been a bumpy transition, to say the least.
Oh, for sure. But Musk seems unfazed by the criticism. He's still pushing forward with his idea of creating an everything app.
He is.
A platform that goes way beyond social media payments, messaging, maybe even government services.
It's a bold vision, and it's still very early in its development.
Right.
The book leaves us wondering if he can actually realize this vision
Yeah.
and what the implications might be for the internet as a whole.
It's like he's trying to build this future he sees in his mind.
Yeah.
Piece by piece, sustainable energy with Tesla.
Right.
Brain-computer interfaces with Neuralink, a reimagined internet with Twitter,
Yeah.
and even a colony on Mars with SpaceX.
It's almost overwhelming,
Is.
the sheer scale of his ambition.
It's certainly audacious, and it's that audacity that both draws people to him and makes them wary.
Yeah.
He's undeniably a polarizing figure.
Oh, for sure.
Someone who evokes very strong reactions, both positive and negative.
Absolutely.
And the book doesn't shy away from those negative reactions.
That doesn't.
It explores his public feuds,
Yeah.
his controversial statements,
Yeah.
his clashes with regulators and critics. It gives a more complete picture, warts and all.
We see the less appealing aspects of his ambition, the ruthlessness,
Right.
the tendency to lash out when challenged.
But even with all the controversy, there's this underlying sense of respect.
I think so.
You might disagree with his methods or question his motives,
Right.
but you can't deny the impact he's having on the world.
He's a disruptor and innovator.
Yeah.
He shakes up entire industries and challenges long-held assumptions.
Totally.
And in a world that often feels stagnant,
Yeah.
that kind of disruption can be both exciting and a little frightening.
It's also incredibly captivating.
Oh, yeah.
Musk's life is like a real-life drama,
yeah.
full of plot twists, victories, failures, larger-than-life characters,
Right.
incredibly high stakes.
And Isaacson does a masterful job of capturing that drama,
Yeah.
weaving personal anecdotes, behind-the-scenes insights,
Right.
and broader perspectives into a truly compelling portrait of this complex and contradictory individual.
It's more than just a biography. It's like a glimpse into the future that Musk is trying to build. A future where technology plays an even larger role in our lives.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
And that's the question we're left pondering as we move into the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
What kind of future are we creating?
Yeah.
And what role will Elon Musk play in shaping it?
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our Elon Musk deep dive.
Right.
And we're about to get into some seriously big picture stuff.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
You know, we've covered his his companies, his personality.
Right.
Now it's time to explore those huge, almost existential questions
Right.
that seem to really drive him.
It's remarkable how Musk's personal anxieties often mirror, like, those of humanity as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
He's preoccupied with climate change, the potential dangers of AI, even the idea that we might be living in a simulation.
Yeah, it's wild. And he's not just theorizing about these things either. He's
Well,
actually taking action.
He is.
You know, building electric cars to fight climate change, founding Neuralink to explore brain-computer interfaces,
Yeah.
even talking about making humanity a multi-planetary species with SpaceX.
That's a consistent thread throughout Isaacson's biography.
Yeah.
Musk isn't content with simply being a tech CEO.
Right.
He's more like a modern-day philosopher king,
Yeah.
grappling with these fundamental questions about our collective future.
Okay, so let's start with AI.
Right.
We touched on Neuralink earlier, but his concerns about artificial intelligence go way beyond brain implants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been incredibly vocal about the potential dangers of unfettered AI development,
Yeah.
arguing that it could pose a real existential threat to humanity.
The book mentions this meeting he had with President Obama to discuss AI regulation.
Oh, wow.
And Musk realized that even at the highest levels of government, people weren't fully grasping the potential risks.
Yeah, that sense of urgency,
Yeah.
the feeling that he's one of the few who truly understand the magnitude of the issue,
Yeah.
seems to fuel a lot of his actions. He co-founded OpenAI,
Right.
an organization dedicated to developing safe and beneficial AI.
Okay.
And he constantly emphasizes the need for ethical guidelines and responsible oversight.
But here's the thing. His own companies are at the forefront of AI development.
Right.
Tesla's self-driving cars, SpaceX's autonomous rockets,
Yeah.
even the algorithms used by Twitter.
Right.
It's almost paradoxical.
It is. It's a complex dilemma with no easy solution.
Sure.
Musk seems to believe that the best way to ensure AI safety
Yeah.
is to be actively involved in its creation,
Okay.
to shape its development from within.
It's a risky strategy, no doubt, but it reflects his core belief that technology can be a powerful force for good,
Yeah.
even if it comes with inherent dangers.
Right.
It's about mitigating those dangers while harnessing the potential benefits.
And that brings us to another existential challenge,
Yeah.
the climate crisis.
Right.
Musk has been a vocal advocate for renewable energy,
Yeah.
and Tesla's mission statement is very clear: to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy.
It's easy to be cynical about billionaires who talk about saving the planet,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
but Musk's commitment to clean energy appears to be genuine.
Yeah.
He's poured immense resources into Tesla's Solar City and battery storage technology.
And those investments have yielded tangible results.
Right.
Tesla has become the world's leading electric car manufacturer.
Yeah.
And their solar panels and Powerwall systems are contributing to a more decentralized and sustainable energy grid.
But there have been criticisms of his approach,
Oh, yeah.
particularly his focus on individual solutions like electric cars,
Right.
rather than advocating for systemic change.
Some argue that he's not doing enough to address the root causes of climate change.
Yeah.
That he's promoting a techno-utopian vision that overlooks complex political and economic realities.
It's a valid point.
Yeah.
However, I think it's also important to acknowledge that Musk is a pragmatist.
Okay.
He's concentrating on areas where he can have a direct impact, on developing technologies that he believes can make a real difference in the fight against climate change.
Whether or not you agree with his methods, there's no denying that he's raised awareness about the climate crisis
Yeah.
and played a significant role in accelerating the development of clean energy solutions.
Okay, so we've discussed AI climate change.
Right.
Now let's get to the ultimate question.
Right.
The future of humanity.
All right.
Musk seems fixated on the idea of making humans a multiplanetary species.
Yeah.
With a particular focus on colonizing Mars.
He sees it as a kind of insurance policy,
Oh, really?
a way to ensure humanity's survival in the face of potential catastrophic events, asteroid impacts, pandemics, even nuclear war.
It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
But SpaceX is making tangible progress.
They are.
They've revolutionized space travel with reusable rockets. They're developing the Starship spacecraft, and they're already sending astronauts to the International Space Station.
It's a truly remarkable achievement, both in terms of engineering and sheer ambition.
Totally. But it also raises some profound questions.
It does.
Like, who gets to go to Mars?
Right.
Who gets to decide how we colonize another planet?
Yeah.
And what are the implications for the future of our species?
It's definitely not as simple as just launching rockets and setting up camp on Mars.
Right.
There are massive ethical and philosophical considerations.
Yeah.
And those complexities will only multiply as we venture further into space.
And that's where Musk's role as a thought leader becomes even more crucial.
Yeah.
He's not just building the tools for space exploration.
Right.
He's shaping the conversation about our destiny as a species.
He's forcing us to confront these monumental questions.
Yeah, he's pushing us to think bigger,
Yeah.
to consider possibilities that might seem unimaginable,
Totally.
and to be willing to take risks in pursuit of something larger than ourselves.
Regardless of whether you agree with his vision, it's hard not to be impressed by his audacity, his unwavering determination to push the boundaries of what we believe is possible.
So after this deep dive into the life of Elon Musk, what's the takeaway?
Right.
What have we learned?
I think we've witnessed the brilliance, the drive, the relentless ambition that have led to groundbreaking innovations.
For sure.
But we've also seen the flaws, the ruthlessness, the self-destructive tendencies
Right.
that can sometimes undermine his own successes.
It's a reminder that even the most brilliant minds are still human.
Oh, yeah.
That even the grandest visions are often messy,
Right.
and that the path to progress is rarely straightforward.
And perhaps that's the most valuable lesson we can glean from his story.
Yeah.
It's in the messy and the flawed, in the inherently human,
Yeah.
that we find the potential for both extraordinary achievement and profound growth.
That's a powerful insight.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think we'll leave our listener with one final thought-provoking question.
Okay, shoot.
If you had the opportunity to sit down with Elon Musk right now, what would you ask him?
Oh, wow.
What might his answer reveal about the future he's building and the future we all share?
It's been a fascinating journey exploring the world of Elon Musk. Until next time, keep diving deep.